Oh, I love the ASMR.
I stopped for a Celsius today. Thought of you.
How could you not?
How could I not? When are they going to sponsor you, do you think?
Never.
That's BS. How much is a pack of these things? Like, how big do you get them? I imagine you go to Costco, but
No, I just order from Amazon.
you get them on Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Great. I love a Celsius, but it's only in moments when I had to stop and get something else. So I was like, I'm going to grab a Celsius. But I never just have one in my fridge, which I do think is so rich and luxe. Like when you open someone's fridge and they got Spindrift, Diet Coke, Celsius, I'm like, you have generational wealth. And it shows. That's who I want to be in the world, because you open my fridge and it's like a 3-week-old green onion.
Mine's like leftover Chipotle.
Yeah.
From 3 days ago that I'm pretending I'm going to eat again. No, not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Let's
just be real with ourselves.
I know. No, do you know what it really was? When people had that fridge in their garage.
The drink fridge.
Stock.
Drink fridge.
That shit was. Now I have a beverage fridge.
You do. But yours is like hot, cool girl adult version of that. But the one in the fridge, at least from what I can remember, and mind you, this was the 90s. It was like always like gross and really old. Like it would be like beige with brown handles.
It smells
disgusting, but it was just for the drinks.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had like Capri Suns, Sunny D, Coke, like all the drinks that like even, like at my house we had
Sunny
like
D.
Diet Coke. We didn't really have like sodas for a long time.
We never drank pop. My mom was like, no. And that's probably why I don't drink that much of it now, except for an occasional crispy Diet Coke. Truly does it for me.
Crisp cold.
Quick question, since we're on the like fridge of it all, the garage fridge. How many popsicles in one setting is too much? Like, where would you draw the line? I'm just curious.
I would draw the line at 4.
Okay, good.
Why?
Because yesterday I ate 3 back to back to back, and they were the healthy kind, like the organic kind.
Yeah.
From Whole Foods, the red, white, and blue ones, the firecracker, bomb pops, whatever you want to call it. And I was just like, these are better than a quarter pounder, so I'm sure it's fine.
For sure.
They were really doing it for me, so I just back to back.
Yeah, I think 3 is like a really like that's a good number. When you go into 4,
a little suspicious.
Let's
reel it in.
Yeah, that's like a whole box basically. How many come in a box? 6.
Yeah,
you gotta chill.
Yeah. I mean, well, I was chilling because I was eating a lot of popsicles and I was quite cold. But I'm like, sometimes you just remember you have agency as an adult. And you just do crazy shit. I was like, there's no one's gonna rip this bomb pop out of my hand. I can eat it. I can eat the whole box if I want.
Oh gosh, I know. Tell me about it. When people are like, you could just go buy a cake.
I
could just go buy a cake. I've never just like bought a cake, but thought about it. Yeah. Thinking about it now. Anyway, should we
do a show?
Should we do some Hometown Heroes?
Hi to the rest of you that are out there. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah, let's do some Hometown Heroes.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
we're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women, like disrespectfully.
Hometown Heroes. Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
Danielle says, hi, lovely ladies. Longtime Vanderpump fan and new to listening to the podcast, and I'm literally obsessed with you both. Katie, your story about being half naked and someone being outside your place made me laugh, so I had to share my story about something similar. Okay, so picture this. My apartment is on the 4th floor. We have a giant window facing the street where there are other homes, and it's a pretty busy street. I live in a super populated area too. So it was nighttime and super dark, and I'm just minding my business in my apartment in literally a thong. I noticed through my window shade there were red and blue lights flashing, and me being the nosy bitch that I am, I wanted to see what was up. Side note. So like 300 feet away from the window, there's literally a fire truck there and police like every week at this house. So I just assumed that it would be at that house also. So I confidently rolled up my window shade out and all because no one would be able to see me from that far away. Well, nope. The fire truck is actually right outside our apartment. And not only that, but half of the apartment complex is evacuated and standing across the street where they can see directly into my window. Super fun. So I quickly dropped to the ground and slithered my way back to my room to get a t-shirt. Turns out the unit below me had a major kitchen fire, and for some reason our alarm didn't go off. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So all of these people that are standing outside are staring into the window directly below ours to see the fire. So I have a hard time believing that some, if not all of those people saw me open the window and saw my boobies swinging around free. Swangin'. I then had to evacuate my unit, fully clothed at this point, and go stand out with all the people that just saw me until the firefighter got the fire out below my unit and also cleared my unit since it was directly above. The good thing is the fire was put out and no people or pets were harmed, and I do not talk to my neighbors. Crying, like, smile emoji. Anyway, you girlies are great, and I look forward to your next episode.
Dude.
Should you and Danielle hang out or what?
Yeah, we hang out. It's a swangin'.
Have a swangin'. Also, we want to point out she spelled it swangin', and I think I should use that in more day to day.
I know, I'm obsessed with that.
They all saw you, by the way.
Oh yeah,
they were looking at the fire, and then the abrupt motion. They probably thought it was a flame, and they just looked up eye to eye with your
There's
nipples.
a person up there. Go save her.
She don't want to be
First
saved.
of all, it's also like terrifying that the apartment literally below yours was on fire. Like that would not sit well with me. But I think. Yeah, I mean, when you live in an apartment that's like, not on the ground floor, I've definitely like windows open, walked around and been like, if someone sees me, they're far away. It's just like a little bit of like a tiny peep show. But when it's like right there,
what are you supposed to? Are you a voyeur?
When you can make eye contact with people. Am I like a voyeur?
Are you a voyeur? Do you like creep if you can? Like or do you just mind your business because it's like the rule of the world? You're just supposed to like look away.
I'll be honest. If I'm in New York and I'm in a hotel room and I can see across into another building, I'm just curious. I'm like, I can see into literally I can see what they're watching on TV. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. If I saw someone naked walking around, I'd probably like look away.
No, you wouldn't, and I wouldn't. Here's the thing: I'm a nosy Parker.
Are they hot?
Well, I mean, if they're not, I more so want to look. Like, I don't know. I'm a nosy Parker, but I'm not trying to be a pervert. And I think there's like voyeur light. Like, I'm not looking for it. I'm not trying to. But yes, if I'm just in a high rise and I look, I'm gonna take a little look, and then I'm gonna respect your privacy.
What if they're just like an exhibitionist and they like want to be seen?
Then I want to see them. Sign me up.
So that's the thing. I'm just like, listen. Their windows are open. They know what they're doing. They want people to look. So I'm going to just oblige.
I think this goes without saying. We're not saying you should be voyeurs, and voyeurs are creepy, but we're just saying, yeah, sometimes I think in general you want to give people
busting out the binoculars and camping out, just like looking,
Katie with her telescope.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard not to when especially you're in spaces when your like apartments are so close. My old apartment in WeHo, if I stood on my balcony, I could touch the roof of the one next to me. It was like that's how close we were. So it was just kind of like whatever happens here is going to happen here. I hope it stays between apartment complexes.
Yeah, but that's pretty embarrassing. The fact that she had to get dressed and then go down and like just stand with everyone and be like, "What? Did you guys see anything weird?"
Also, Danielle, what are you, Robert Frost? Your imagery in this story is wonderful. I picture you like the Grinch when he's slithering on the floor to go get the toys. That's what I pictured you like going to get
snake.
a t-shirt.
Oh my God. I love that. I'm glad.
Fantastic hometown hero. Thanks for making Katie feel better about her choices.
Yeah. Okay.
Your turn.
All right. Brienne says, "Hi, Dan and Katie. You ladies are killing it with the pod and are always giving hot, sexy, cool." We like the TLC album. Crazy, sexy, cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're crazy, sexy, cool. We're not hot, sexy, cool.
Well, crazy, hot, sexy, cool.
Yeah. There you go.
I wish I could say this story I'm about to tell was giving that, but it's quite the opposite. I'm going to tell you about the time I shit myself at Disneyland.
Okay, I think our new rule of thumb is we can't go 3 episodes in a row talking about shit, but if it's just 2, that's fine.
Listen, I would do a whole episode on it. An entire episode dedicated to it. Okay. Me and my current BF wanted to hit one last ride before heading home, but before that, we were starving. We decided to get some clam chowder bowls right by Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh my God. Once we finished eating, we got in line, and as soon as we were about to get on, I could feel the bubble guts. I started getting really sweaty and was clenching my cheek so hard trying to hold it in. As soon as we sat down, I thought maybe if I just let out some gas, the pain will go away. But nope. Instead, it was a full fucking shart. I felt it all in my butt crack and had to finish the entire ride like this. And if you know, that ride is so damn long. It is so long.
It's so long.
Well, it could have been, It's a Small World. That's longer. But I digress. Okay. I told my boyfriend what happened and he was like, Oh my God, dude, I can smell it. I wanted to die. Thank God we were the only ones in our row and luckily had a sweater that I could tie around my waist once we got off the ride. Finally, the ride is over and I run to the bathrooms. I threw away my underwear, cleaned myself off, but my pants still had awful poop smell. So I had to walk all the way back to the car with poop pants on. Oh my God. I took them off in the car, left them in the parking garage, and Winnie the Pooh all the way home, which was like 30-minute drive. To this day, I still wonder if anyone found my poop pants in the Disney Mickey and Friends parking garage.
Okay, so you
I'm dying.
That's what you mean by Winnie the Pooh. You're naked from the hip south.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
But I love that it was still like a Disney reference. That was incredible.
Okay, 10 out of 10. But I just want to point out, I mean, it's not like she was, eating clam chowder and then going on Space Mountain. But I just feel like clam chowder is like an end of the day thing. When we're done, it's like you don't want to put that in your tummy and shake it up. It's not a martini. Okay, we need to let that
also,
settle.
you don't want to just like walk around with it in your stomach. Like that's not.
Remember when it was after one of Silk's recitals. I feel like you were there when I threw up clam chowder.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Then really quick
God.
story. I had eaten, I was really hungry and I'm unpleasant when I'm hungry. And the only thing because it's like at a school was candy. So I got a bunch of candy and I ate all the candy. And then we went out after to this restaurant in Santa Monica. It's kind of a dive. They have like Christmas lights all over. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. They have huge clam chowder and I fucking love clam chowder. So I took half a bottle of Tabasco, put it in there, ate it so quickly. And then we're sitting there and I'm like, something doesn't feel right.
Bubble guts.
Yeah, but I knew that it was going to be a throw up situation. I was like, I'll be right back. I got up. The bathroom was like all the way in the back. I was at the front door. I ran outside because I wasn't going to make it. And
on the
sorry,
street?
this is TMI. Projectile vomited right outside the restaurant. It was like The Exorcist with clam chowder, though. Like it was.
Oh my God. Did anyone walk by?
Oh yeah, and I was like, I'm not drunk. It's just clam chowder.
Oh. Thank God.
No, it doesn't matter.
Thank God.
Several people walked by, and I was just like, please don't
look at me.
Anyway,
look away.
So look away. You and I have had different clam chowder journeys, but still awful.
I think the question that everyone's wondering is, does clam chowder belong in your body?
Probably not, but I love it still. And I ate it like a week later, stayed down, which was great. Wow, that is, wait, did she say this was her boyfriend?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're still together. That's a lot to go through for one relationship.
That'll trauma bond ya.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Allison, please cut out like anything about what the story I just told that is too disgusting, but keep it in if you think it's funny.
It's not any more disgusting than what we just read. I would rather projectile vomit than shit my pants.
So true. Yes.
I'd rather throw up on somebody
100%
than shit myself. Like
100%.
that is so mortifying.
There's nothing worse.
Throwing up is disgusting for you to experience. It's so awful. It's the worst. But shitting yourself is something it would take me at least 3 business days to get past that.
I think that all adults, we need to collectively start talking about the fact that it's not if you have shit yourself, it's how many times. Okay?
Never.
No. You know what? I don't think anyone's done it. I think that this is you know what? You're right. I have definitely never done that.
Have you? You've shit yourself?
Yeah, but not in like a big way that it was like biblical, but in a way that I was caught off guard. So it's kind of, same but different situation. But
I'm trying to
tummy problems.
Actually, there's been a little bit of a situation because
it's a spectrum. Pants shitting is a spectrum. Have I ever stood there and had an exorcism down south? No, that has not happened.
Have you trusted a fart though?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
A little too much.
It's you trust a toot and you lose.
Well, especially like there's like those Mag 07 pills that sometimes like to take if it's
you just looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I think that's a crazy no."
Okay, I'm just
everyone
now,
has
I'm
a
now
little
remembering.
bit.
I'm now remembering a time. Like thankfully, I was like at home. I was like about to like get up and get in a shower, and so like that was a thing. So
yeah, I literally. The other day had to, Carrie Richardson, I'm fucking down my hallway. Like, am I going to make, I did. I pulled through the finish line. Anyway.
Yeah, but that, no, in public, no,
that's what I'm saying. This is horrible because it's the most embarrassing, awful thing. Like, it's awful for you. It's awful for the people around you.
Oh, God. Okay.
Also in front of your boyfriend. Bleh.
Moving on. You know what I'm really looking forward to as the weather cools down?
Let me guess. Pumpkin spice lattes.
Sure. but also slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince.
Oh, Quince is the place to get those wardrobe essentials. Their Mongolian cashmere sweaters are only $50. What?
Right? I couldn't believe it at first. I mean, everything they have from cashmere to leather jackets or even soft denim is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
It's because they partner directly with top factories and cut out the middleman, so the savings go straight to us.
And the quality? Amazing. They work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. It's all premium fabrics and luxury finishes.
Speaking of quality, what have you gotten from Quince? What's your coziest piece?
Oh, well, believe it or not, cashmere cardigan.
Mhm.
You know, I love a cardigan. Is my absolute favorite. It's just as soft as any high-end brand, but so much more affordable. Honestly, it's a staple for transitioning from summer to fall.
I'm in love with their leather jacket. It's stylish, feels great, and didn't break the bank. Plus, I love knowing it was made responsibly.
Same. And the other best part is you get free shipping and 365-day return.
If you're ready to get cozy with Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials, just go to quince.com/disrespectfully for free shipping and a 365-day return.
That's QUINCE.com/disrespectfully.
Mercedes says, "Hi ladies, I'm a 24-year-old female currently solo traveling. I just want to say how much I love this pod. Listening to you guys on my long rides is the only thing that keeps me sane. You guys make me feel so safe." That's sweet.
I love that.
I love that. But be safe out there, please, because I'm also your Dateline godmother, and that makes me scared. Now, on to the juicy cop story. I was 11 years old, and I had friends that were like 13 to 15. Somehow, 11-year-old me thought I could drive one town over to the next. I pulled out of the neighborhood and almost sideswiped a cop. Did I realize? No. Kept going. Blinking red light. What the fuck? This is a long light. I see the cop behind me, and I think, fuck, I should just go. Driving my grandparents' Pontiac G6 going 55, the speed limit, I tried to swerve over to park. I realized I couldn't. I tried to pull into the gas station and realized I still don't know how to park. Last resort, let's go home. Next thing, I got 5 cop cars box me in. I don't remember much other than the screaming of the men and me having to giggly ask the cop, can he help me get my sandal on since I'm handcuffed? Long story short, I got my first mugshot. I didn't even make it 5 minutes away from my grandma's house. Ended up getting a long list of charges, ended up getting an assault and battery a few months later, so the judge agreed to drop the felony and put me on probation only for the assault and battery. I had a small page in the newspaper. I was a juvenile delinquent. Fast forward to 24, I have the worst anxiety. I can't function without my headphones, LOL. I spend my free time alone, smoking, and working as an OF girl. That crazy 11-year-old was entirely too much. Love you girls so much. Sorry, this is long.
11.
They don't make them like this anymore because now we're down to 8-year-olds driving to Target. But I also love your little brain thinking, your little 11-year-old brain being like, I don't know how to park, so it's time to just go home. I'm just going to keep on.
Like as if, what were you going to do? Just park it just into
We're going
the
to call your
house?
grandparents and be like,
Hey,
Grandpappy, come park the car, please. Like, it's illegal what you're doing. Also, I don't know if we have an update from the Target child story, but I don't think that charges were pressed.
Well, who was going to press charges? The people at the mailbox or her mom?
Well, if you just do something illegal, even if it's not to another person, you can still have charges brought against you. But assault and battery. So did you kick a cop? We just don't know.
Well, I think that was a little later on.
Oh.
It's a few months later.
Well, okay. We wish you well in your journey out there. It is funny how those versions, I'm the same way. Like, you can't function without your headphones. I obviously have to listen to something all the time, whether it's on a speaker or headphones. And I'm like, yeah, the shit that I used to do as a teenager, sometimes I have trouble going down to my car alone. I'm like, what are you thinking? And this person's now solo traveling. So good for you. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
Thanks for writing in.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, I have another shitting story.
You're lying. Oh no. Oh God.
Okay. Well,
whatever. Okay.
We pick separate stories. We don't discuss which ones we're picking. So I guess
I think it speaks more to how connected we are right here. And we have the same sense of humor.
We got poop on the brain, I guess. So cool. All right. Anyways, Ariane says, ask and you shall receive.
Did we ask?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We sure did. Okay, before I divulge into my story, love you both. I listen to the podcast while I clean houses, and that shit cracks me up. Okay, on to the shitting of my tights. To set the scene, I am 15 or 16 at my year-end dance recital. I've danced my entire life, and I've always had a similar routine on performance days. This is important for later. The routine usually goes, my mom doesn't have enough time to cook supper, and it's inconvenient to bring said supper to theater. So McDonald's it is, and has never failed me until this incident. So I scarf down my Big Mac meal, hair and makeup is all done, and I'm in my costume for my performance. Mind you, the costume for the first piece is pink ballet tights, a black bodysuit, and a micro sheer ballet skirt. The curtains close and it's 10 minutes to the top of the show. I'm on stage warming up, practicing last minute things when the urge to fart hits me. Like I said, McDonald's on show days has never let me down, so I trusted the fart. Mistake number one. It was not a fart. I shit myself. So I panic. These are brand new tights. Every dancer's worst nightmare. I rush off stage and book it to the nearest bathroom. Luckily, a girl I danced with was in there. So I used the excuse every woman/girl would use. Hey, I just got my period and bled through my tights. Could you give me a new pair? So I got the new tights, trashed my shit tights, and never told a soul until now. I feel enough time has passed that I can reveal this incredible never trust a fart story. Thanks for listening. Hope this made you guys laugh a little bit. Love you both. Also, P.S. How does one get on Katie's private story? I want to see hot dog content. Love this shitty ballerina.
One of my best friend's partners always says, never trust a fart. Apparently that's a common saying. I didn't know that until I've known him for 10 years now, but
for good reason.
He always says, never trust a fart. And he's not lying. Look at me saying the F word. Well, I'm glad that worked out for you, that someone else had tights and you could just blame it on your menses.
Yeah. Imagine. But again, if I had properly shit myself, I would not be content with just changing.
I need a full shower, like Silkwood style.
I need a scrub, hot water, some antibacterial soap. We're just doing a dry wipe and then off to.
Which we're not judging either of these two shit stories, but yeah, for me,
I'm just thinking.
If I ever go missing, it's either a Dateline situation or I've properly shit myself in public and I just can't deal with it anymore. So that's the only time you may need a new co-host. And I full antibacterial wipe down. No, we need. But I mean, I guess she's a performer. To be a girl to perform, the show must go on. That's showbiz, baby. That's showbiz, baby.
Just shit in your pants.
Okay, well, if you guys insist, keep sending in poop your pants stories. And then also, we would love more childhood delinquency in general. We have the Target girl that's inspired this, but anything you did as a kid that was kooky, we got to know about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's for hometowns, should we
solve the world's problems?
WWDD.
Let's WWDD.
Yeah. Anonymous says, hello, my loves. Been listening from the beginning and I absolutely adore both of you. I'm so glad there are now 2 episodes a week for me to get my breath of feminist fresh air. Yeah. I am hoping to get some unbiased advice from 2 ladies that I not only respect, but are sort of out of the scope of the military spouse life that I live. My husband will be returning from deployment soon. In general, there's always a big range of mixed emotions. I feel like I am more terrified than I should be given what happened last time he came home from deployment. For a little backstory, in 2020, he went on a 6-month deployment when our daughter was just 1 month old. Given the circumstances of being a new mom and new military spouse, I did not prioritize fitness or worrying about my physical appearance as much as I did prior to having children. So of course I gained weight. When he came home after his deployment, he had expressed that he was no longer physically attracted to me, specifying that it was mainly my belly area that he was having an issue with. God. Of course, that caused massive argument and rift between us that has taken therapy and far too much patience on my end to resolve. Something like that never totally goes away or gets worked through. But I will say, since then, he has redeemed himself quite a bit. It definitely doesn't excuse the absolute basement behavior, however. Sure does. Fast forward to now. We welcomed our second child a little over a year ago, right before he left on his current deployment. Please know I did not plan this shit. I get pregnant and he conveniently has to go away for deployment. Of course, being a solo parent of 2 small children and working full-time, I have not prioritized my physical appearance. I work in a pretty physically demanding environment, so by the time I have any sort of downtime, I'm usually trying to rest and recover. I try to prioritize my health for the sake of being the best mother I can for my kids, but having a slender waistline is far from the top of my priorities right now in my life. I'm truly terrified that he's going to come home again and not be attracted to me. He has never cheated, and I trust that he won't. He was cheated on his last marriage while he was on deployment, so I know that definitely is not something that he's willing to do. Of course, anything could happen, but I try to hold on to the more logical. I guess I'm trying to ask for some advice on how I should handle the situation. It's pretty common in the military community for people to sweep so much stuff under the rug, and that's unfortunately not anywhere in my DNA. I've had conversations with him about expectations and things like that, but it's been over text, and really there's never an opportunity to actually get to the nitty-gritty of what the physical expectations are between the two of us when he comes home. Any advice you could give on how I should approach the situation would be greatly appreciated. Should I just say fuck it and go in full force and not really worry about whether or not my belly's an issue after 2 kids? Should I make him really work for it when he gets home? I just don't know. I know this is long and I apologize, but I so greatly appreciate any advice. Wow.
Take a seat.
Yeah.
Take a seat.
First of all, any man that's going to just say that they're not physically attracted to you anymore because you're not of a certain physique is disgusting. But the fact that you bared and birthed this man's children and not even like a calendar year later, he's like, yeah, about that belly. Like I would smack the shit out of his mouth. Yeah.
I would throw a chair into his medulla oblongata. I'm agreeing with, keep going. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, do not be hard on yourself. And I know you're not, but like you are, like he's gone on work. He's not like necessarily just like traveling through Europe, just like chilling. But like you are the primary caregiver now for your children while, you know, he's away. And that's a full-time job and you work full-time on top of it. So I'm sorry, when are you supposed to be hitting a Pilates class? I just think that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if he's going to be vain and shallow, then I think, you know, you need to also like put your foot down and say like, well, I am who I am. You either accept me and love me for who I am, or I don't want to say like, you know, but I think you need to be abundantly clear what your expectations are for yourself to him and that he should accept that, or I don't know, whatever things you want to set there, whatever you're comfortable with. But I think you need to absolutely advocate for yourself in this moment.
As Katie was reading that, I could collectively hear the Coven in our community shudder because of how disgusting that is. To Katie's point, you bared his children. It's not like you're just sitting around eating croissant and like not doing anything. And even if you were, that's also fine. Like, also something tells me that this man that you're married to doesn't look like Jacob Elordi, which is always so fresh to me when they say things like that. But the balls on this guy to say to you, I'm not attracted to you anymore. It's the belly I have a problem with. Yeah, no, for me, this person isn't going to change. And I think that if you want to make a change in your physical appearance, it should be something you do by you, for you, because you want to. Mm-hmm. Do not change a thing about yourself because a physical thing about yourself because someone tells you they're not attracted to you anymore. Like, again, especially after you've had his children, and to be a full-time working mom, and you said your job is physical, you take the time you can to rest, to be the best mom that you can. That is incredible that you prioritize that and you're so selfless. Mm-hmm. So for this jabroni to be like, you're not hot enough. I'm like, well, go ahead. This is divorce papers. Sign right there. I can't tell you what to do, but you deserve more than that. And I'm really sorry that he made you feel that way.
Yeah, you deserve someone that's going to come home and kiss the ground you walk on and worship your body regardless of what it looks like, because they love you and you have a family together and you build your life together. And I mean, a lot of those things just don't equal one another, but it's what you deserve at the end of the day.
And so what is his love conditional? Must have 6-pack for love? Like what is that garbage? And also you guys have a daughter. And so what? He's letting his daughter see that that's normal. Not to say that you guys are having these conversations in front of them, but it usually comes out through osmosis over time. And, you know, I'm worried that your daughter being in that environment will absorb that as like, that's her value is in her looks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh. Hate this for you. He's in the basement for me.
Yeah, this guy goes in the basement.
Let's put that thing down, flip it and reverse it back to Wednesday. I'm sticking him in the basement.
Exactly. Well, I just think, yeah, that's the best advice we can give. I think you need to love yourself a little more here.
Mm-hmm. And then act accordingly, do what feels right for you. Because
exactly.
as we always say, when we're giving advice on anyone's relationship, like we can't make those decisions for you, but you definitely deserve more than that. We love you and think you're Gorgina.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Carly says, hey girlies, just wanted to say I love you both so much and the pod as well, of course. All right, let's get into it while trying to not make this a fucking novel. So my ex and I broke up about 9 months ago, December of 2023, and I'm still not over it. The relationship was really good at times and then really bad at times. I had constant anxiety when I wasn't with him, which should have been my first sign. There were times where he was a little emotionally abusive, and I didn't realize it until literally last month because of trauma. When we broke up, he told me it was because of his mental health and he needed to work on himself outside of a relationship. Needless to say, I was a complete mess. We still talked here and there, but then I found out he had a new girlfriend 3 months after we broke up. Even though he was telling me he still loved me and he missed me like 3 weeks before I found out. After finding this out, I was devastated. I have been doing so much better and I still find myself missing him and wondering about all of the what ifs. Sometimes I resort to telling myself I wasn't enough or I was too needy and it's my fault. Why the fuck am I not over it yet since it's been so long and he is in a new relationship? Please help me and tell me how to get over this. Love you. Carly, love you. A lot of men don't do the emotional work. They just immediately, it's replacement after replacement after replacement because they can function like that. And I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men have, I've seen lots of men in my life have that pattern and it just kind of is what it is. So that cannot be your barometer for why there was an ultimate failure in the relationship. Also, please take a step back and look at the fact you realize that he was a little emotionally abusive. Any amount of emotional abuse is not okay. So it probably failed because he was emotionally abusive and he probably lit up in you when you were saying like you would think about what he was doing all the time and want to be around him. And like, to me, that gives a little bit of an anxious attachment style. And I think that he probably used that to his advantage and kind of kept you in a pattern that worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I think that we really need to stop in any type of grief in life because breaking up is a type of grief, putting timestamps on things as far as like, there is no A plus B equals C. So, okay, it's been 9 months. I should be over it. I mean, there are people that I dated for years that I got over very quickly. And there are people that I dated for 5 minutes that didn't even like me that I am still suffering about. So like, I don't think it's that linear. Healing is not that linear. So unfortunately, I wish there was some like magic words of advice to help you get over this the second you hear this. But just know it is going to keep getting better. And please do not compare. Comparison is a thief of joy, but comparing yourself for someone to be in a relationship quickly is just kind of like, that's their damage. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I agree. Don't let this be like a reflection of you, your worth, being lovable, like whether or not someone loved you. Like it's just when somebody ends up dating someone new after, I know it's very easy to do that and fall into that trap. But it is a slippery slope. So I just suggest never doing that. I'm going to have an objective point of view on this. And I think but it'll be helpful to look at it from this perspective as well. Because when we break up with somebody and we miss them, we're not over, we tend to kind of want to think about the good times. We can recognize, oh, it wasn't always so good, but like we tend to still paint a picture of a person. And although we can recognize things that weren't great, at the end of the day, like the relationship wasn't all good. And it ended for a reason. And I'm not saying like his emotional abuse or anything like that is justifiable in any way, but obviously he wasn't happy as well. Just thank God that it ended and it ended sooner rather than later. So I think you just kind of need to have like that little bit of perspective to just be thankful that you get to like find someone who's going to check all your boxes. And it doesn't need to be good most of the time, but bad some of the time, and have anxiety when you're like, that's just, that relationship is over. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying like wonder how he feels, but obviously it wasn't good. So like there's always takes two to tango. So if one person's not happy, chances are the other person also isn't happy. And you're going to feel that on both ends. That's why fights happen. That's why the communication fails, because when people are not happy, when they're not getting their needs met, it's really hard to land on the same page. So I just think having that understanding of like maybe him moving on quicker than you anticipated potentially has something to do with it. But I think, like I always suggest, just focus on like yourself, what you learned from that, what you don't want out of that. So you know what to pay attention to moving forward so you don't repeat same patterns.
And also the what ifs of it all, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's not going to serve you to sit thinking of that and like, this person has moved on. So
think about
try and focus on yourself.
Like the positive, like looking forward, not looking back of like what if. Think about like what could be for somebody that, you can have come into your life and treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And you treat them the way you want to, with all the love that you have to give, because I'm sure you bring a lot to the table. So just got to have someone that's going to appreciate.
Facts.
Yeah. Facts. Lauren says, "Hi, girlies. First, I'm jazzed if you even read this. All right. I'm such a huge fan. You both have been role models for being a boss ass bitch and standing up for yourselves while still remaining vulnerable. True women of character. Truly hoping this isn't too long, but I'm a rambler. I edited it as much as I could. I'm writing today as I need some friendship advice, specifically women friendships. To make 32-year-old story short, I was diagnosed with autism in December. One of those instances where I was diagnosed with everything else first because I am a woman. So irritating. And when I finally got this one, it made sense. A few weeks ago, after months of working on a fun workshop based on my profession and my passion, I invited my friends to come for free so I could get my confidence up, especially after it's really plummeted. And I made this so very clear. I really don't have many friends. Like, I never had a core girl group. All my friends are different friends. The group chats are only anchored by me. So all different people, not one single person responded. This was in the middle of June, and I write this, it's mid-August. No one's brought it up. In terms of the workshop, I pivoted. I decided not to do it for free, and I'm putting it out in September. But in terms of my friends, I've talked to all of them since, and no one's brought it up. Do I mention it? Do I mention how it hurt me? Is it worth it? Most of me has moved on, but part of me is extremely fearful to even ask anyone to do anything again. I actually haven't been able to, for most people after this, because of fear they'll say no. Any advice would help. Love you both. XX Lauren. Well, that makes me sad.
I know, it makes me sad too. I'm sorry that happened. That's such a bummer.
If you stop reaching out to people, if you stop working towards the friends, see how many dead plants you're watering. And that can be hard, especially when you feel like you don't have a ton of friends or you don't have many people that you can really rely on. I think, quality is always really important, and you want to make sure that anyone or anything that you're putting your energy into is also giving that back, or at least adding that value to your life. And if people just are showing you that they just don't care, that you're not important to them, that what you're doing and what you work hard on doesn't deserve flowers, I mean, that says about everything about them, not about you. So I think, I don't want to say like fuck them all and go get new friends, but I think I'd really start trying to like network with some new people. And that can be difficult. I understand it. I think that's just kind of the most important thing, is to surround yourself with people that actually really do care.
And if it's something that you feel like you need closure, or any of those relationships are salvageable, because that's also possible. But this is also coming from someone who's very direct. So I personally, like, maybe in a one-on-one scenario, when you feel comfortable, if you guys are like getting coffee or getting dinner or watching a show, just be like, hey, I feel like I need to say this. I, invited you to this thing, and no one even acknowledged it. And I just felt hurt by it. And I just kind of wanted to check in as to like, where we are. And this is a friendship I value. And I just want to see how you're feeling. Which is also hard to do. And I get that. But like, I would say you're just going to have to evaluate how important each of these people are. And I think that if you take a step back and look at that, you'll probably see that like, okay, maybe some of them I want to have that conversation with to see if it can move forward. But then you might realize that maybe some of them are not putting in the effort that you are. And it's time to move forward.
And listen, people's lives get busy. People have their own world of things happening. So it could be not personal at all. But like, I think being able to express that something did hurt you and you just want to temperature check and see like if things are okay is a great place to start.
Agreed. And congratulations on pivoting, and your workshop came out this month. I hope it went well.
Yeah, I hope it went well. We want to know. We're asking.
Yeah, we sure are. show them this podcast. Be like, you guys missed out. They want to know.
Yeah.
Emily says, hello, wonderful girlies. I'm a huge fan of you both, and I've listened to your pod from day one. My question is, how do you approach decisions? Do you rely on gut instincts, or do you overthink everything before coming to or do you overthink everything before coming to a decision? For example, with business decisions like starting a podcast, did you just know it would work, or did you ever second guess yourselves? You're both so confident and self-assured, which I love. I'm working on that for myself, and I'd love to know your advice, whether that be in business or relationships or life in general. Thank you for making the best podcast there is. Loves, Emily. If overthinking was an Olympic sport, I would be a triple gold carrier. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm better at it than anything else in my life.
Yeah. One thing about me, I'm going to ruminate. I land a property. I'm the mayor of Rumination Island. I love it there.
I love it there. I've never left. I was born there. I'll die there probably.
Spread my ashes.
Literally. For me, because I'm such an overthinker, I definitely, even like you guys hear me babble all the time, okay? Sometimes in my brain, I know I'm talking too much, but it's just how it comes out. So I literally say to myself, land the plane. Land the plane. So when I'm in a conversation or we're doing this show, like I tell myself that, but also sometimes in my life by myself, because sorry, please hold, this is an actual phrase. It's about like, if you're freezing something of loss, it's in finance. Excuse me. Analysis paralysis will kill more dreams than any decisions ever will. So if you just sit there and you overthink and you overthink and you overthink and you can't get anywhere, you're never going to get anywhere. So at least try and fail. And like, for instance, this show, when we decided to do this together, we kind of just knew and felt good about it. So we decided to just take the next step and move forward. And I think I don't want to speak for Katie, both really happy about it. But of course, there are moments of doubt even within that. Like we both wanted it to be successful, but we wanted it to feel like us. And like, you know, a bunch of things had to work out. And I think that sometimes you just have to realize that you are overthinking it and just make a choice, which is hard. But tell yourself, land the plane in life. Like it's just time. We're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've already said I overthink things, but I think you just there's no way to know if something is going to work out or be successful, and trying to, you know, commit to any kind of outcome like that is just going to set yourself up for like devastation and disappointment and just like expectations that like just cannot be met because you don't even know what those are yet. I think you just have to have confidence in yourself and your ideas and your plans and be excited about it. I think just having like that real true excitement and passion for something will be the sort of momentum that you need to do something. So I think if there's something I'm really, really excited about and I really believe in it and I just want to do it, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to enjoy the process and the journey of it, then I say do it. You know, like there's been so many things that I've done for a while and then was like, all right, I think that journey's over, or, you know, leads to something or doesn't lead to something. But I think you learn a lot about yourself in those processes too, and how you work with other people and discipline. And so I just think it's just always good practice just to like fall in love with as many things as possible and try as many things as possible and not overthink what could come of it. Just do it.
Also, I, as a person, have made more wrong decisions than I think any other living person, and I'm still standing. So like, it's a lot of shit will work out, a lot of it won't, and it's just about trying. And I think more people the people in their life who found big success in whatever area of their life it is are the people who just keep getting up and trying again.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so afraid of failure and so like risk adverse. It's amazing that I attempt to even get up. but truly, I mean, and just like the imposter syndrome of it all, just like who the fuck do I think I am? But you know what? I wouldn't be where I am like right now or have done half the things if I didn't just take risks and just say like, just I kind of have a fuck it mentality. And, you know, just.
We're big fuck it overthinkers, but we'll leave you with this phrase. I don't fail. I win or I learn something. Not to give you a haiku, but it's just very true.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about.
And I've learned I'm bad at a lot of things.
Regret as well. I don't regret things. I just either embrace it or I learn from it.
I want to be that person, but I feel like I do have regrets. Like probably like, yeah, they all make you something, but I'm like, yeah, if I could go back and not shit my pants.
I regret eating like clam chowder. Those are things that you can regret. But I'm talking about in life decisions.
Yes.
Like I don't regret those things that I've done because I don't like who I am today is a lot of because of those things, you know?
Yeah.
So why would I regret doing that?
Totally.
Hope that helps. Anywho. Okay.
your turn.
Rose says, ladies.
Hope that helps. Sorry, keep going.
Don't overthink. Here's the most long-winded answer possible. Okay, sorry.
Okay, we have to get through
But we
this.
meant every word of it. Okay.
Okay.
Rose says, ladies, first, Katie and Dana, I absolutely love your podcast. I'm a 36-year-old female who absolutely loves what you ladies stand for. I ended up leaving behind a 15-year career of doing digital forensics. This involved me leaving my family and beloved pets behind for multiple tours in Afghanistan, as well as investigating child exploitation and other horrendous criminal acts here in the U.S. The things you must have seen. I cannot imagine.
I couldn't. You're a hero. I couldn't do it.
I'm mentally broke and I don't know if it was right to leave that work behind. I'm struggling with ways to motivate myself in a new direction or any direction, frankly. As a contractor, I was treated less than human compared to other civilians or military. The sexual assault I reported from my first time in Afghanistan resulted in me losing my job. I rebuilt myself and was assaulted again. I'm in therapy, but I feel so numb that I don't know what to do next. Some days are better than others, but any advice? Love you both, Rose. I mean, I am a little speechless because that is like something I can't even imagine.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's secondhand trauma. The job you were doing, being exposed to that all the time is trauma in and of itself.
You are a strong person just for taking that on. And then having to also just deal with sexual assault on top of that and losing your job because you report it. Like, I am disgusted.
I'm sorry the system failed you so badly.
Yeah.
I think part of what you're saying here, you're struggling with ways to motivate yourself in a new direction. When your nervous system is so shot, one of the symptoms of that can be that you feel like you lack motivation, but you just want to like lay down because it all feels like so much. So I think before you start blaming yourself or harping on yourself that you aren't motivated enough, perhaps you really just need to stay where you are right now and like get back to center, which is not easy and is you've been through so much. So I'm not blaming you for that at all. But I just think that that's probably what's going on right now is that you're overwhelmed, even if it's not a conscious thing, and proud of you also for being in therapy. I think that's a great place to start and continue to do some of that work. But just like there's no timeline for healing when it comes to relationships, there's no timeline to healing for this. First of all, you're a survivor and that's absolutely incredible. And just getting out of bed every morning is a huge win, but it just takes time. And again, I'm really happy that you're in therapy and you have that support.
Yeah. Having therapy is huge. That's a massive tool that will definitely help you. But yeah, I agree. Like just to be really kind to yourself and really go easy on yourself because you've clearly been through more than anyone should have to go through. And I think like I understand the part of you can feeling that work, leaving that work behind and was the right choice. I mean, I think when you feel like you don't have a new direction to go and you're not sure what you want to do next, it's easy to say like, should I have just stuck that out? Was that right? I think you made the right decision, to be perfectly honest. And I think, just kind of exploring things that make you feel good will probably lead you to the answer of what you should do next. And I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know if it's like working with animals or other women or just whatever like would bring you kind of more joy and fill your cup. I think that's something to contemplate.
Well, and also you've done your part. You spent 15 years in that very difficult field. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's maybe some of that there's some guilt of like, it's important work, of course, but you've done your part and you now need to take care of yourself. It's like putting your mask on first before you put other people's masks on the plane. So
totally. Yeah,
we love you so much and we see you and we believe you and wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Mary says, hello, my queens. I love you both and the pod. Vanderpump Rules is my safety show since the pandemic and I love you both so much. Right now, I'm having a hard time being friends with someone I consider to be a best friend. For context, I moved to Florida 3 years ago and met this girl a year and a half ago. Off the bat, had so much in common and got close immediately. She's actually who inspired me to start a business, and thank God I did. We got extremely close as time went on, and she's been an incredible friend to me. In the past couple of months, I found myself getting frustrated with her. She's always been kind of negative and needy and always complaining about something. She's also in a relationship with someone who is not worth her time. No, he isn't a cheater or mean per se. However, he puts no effort into their relationship, is all talk, no action, and she had to put the idea of marriage in his head. She's kind of living in La La Land. On top of that, she has become a huge Trumper and conspiracy theorist. I've also noticed when we're watching shows like Love Island, she's constantly talking shit about other women and how they aren't pretty and whatever. Basically, I just feel conflicted because she's been such a great friend to me in the past. I just find her to be annoying and I don't enjoy spending time with her anymore. We now don't have much in common and I think she's ... dumb, ? I feel bad saying that, but I've tried to set her straight on these issues. And again, it's Delulu pants. We're seeing Sabrina Carpenter next month too with another friend of ours who also thinks she's annoying. Do I just switch her from best friend to acquaintance and leave some distance? And if she asks me about it, do I just say I love her, but I feel like we don't have a lot in common anymore? ? Seriously, help. I trust you and Dana more than my therapist. Much love, XOXOXO. You should probably tell your therapist that. Probably time to work through some stuff. What do you think?
I think that this happens, especially, as we get older and become adults and like really frontal cortex form, the whole thing. I don't know exactly how old you are, but it just seems like we really become like more sure of ourselves and we have our values and our morals, we have our integrity. And when people that you're friends with at one point, when those things, not to say they didn't matter, but they were not high on the priority list. You just had like your friends from college that you partied with, that you talked about bullshit with. And now, there's like real life issues that matter to you and you don't align with them on. I think it's fair to demote those people in your life. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of them, because if there's still aspects about the relationship that bring value to you and you enjoy, then by all means, keep them around. But, it just sounds like also maybe this person just isn't really happy. And there seems to be some like projection of that. And like they say, like misery loves company. I'm not saying she's miserable, but like there's somebody that just is negative all the time and is like talking shit about Love Island and the way the women look. Like when it's those kind of things, you're like, can you really, do you have anything nice to say? Anything positive? Yeah. Can you laugh? I mean, it's just like that is draining. It is such draining energy to be around. So I think, me personally, what I would do is like, I would just slowly start to put distance in, and if that person says something, you can mention it, but they're probably not going to agree. But it's a little hard to say someone like, I think you're kind of an idiot and I don't want to be a friend anymore. But I think you can just start spending time with people that you do align with things on, and that do, you're not obligated to spend your time with anyone. You can spend your time however you want. But
yeah, I mean, I second everything you said, and I also think that friendships evolve and change as people individually within the friendship evolve and change. And if you guys are going in different directions, that's totally fine. It also doesn't have to be so black and white where it's like, either you're my best friend or you're not in my life. I think that the beauty of friendships in the way that they change is that they can still exist in your world in a different way. And honestly, maybe if this person isn't so like a day-to-day best friend person, maybe it will move back to a thing where you can enjoy each other's company again because you give it more distance and just like let it grow. And who knows, maybe some distance will happen and she'll bring it up and it'll turn into this, negative thing or a fight. But then also if that happens, then it's pretty telling. And I think that there's much nicer ways than just saying, I think you're dumb and I don't want to be your best friend anymore. But
effective,
but kind of mean. But yeah, I think that maybe just let the distance happen naturally. And then if a conversation comes up or needs to be had, then go from there. But totally. I think there's ways to be friends with people that we don't agree with them on everything or whatever, and just like, let it change.
And that way, when you do see them, you have plenty of other stuff to talk about. So it's not like you've already talked about everything and now it's just like the little tiny bits about them just get to you. It's just like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? And like, then you're just like really grateful that you still have this person in your life. But that's kind of how you're going to have to evaluate how things go and how you want to handle it. But I don't think, you don't need to cut them off. Anyway, okay. Anna says, my engagement was spoiled by my husband's boss. My then boyfriend and I had been living together for a while when I was offered a 9-month contract at my dream company requiring us to go long distance. On a weekend visit home, about midway through my contract, his boss spoiled that he had bought an engagement ring and was planning to propose. We'd had conversations about our future, which included marriage, but nothing official, so I was beyond excited. I had already set up a really romantic, private, quiet beach vacation for us after my contract ended before this information came to light, so I fully expected to happen there. Well, the trip comes and goes, and while it was so amazing, no proposal. After a couple months of still no proposal, I eventually lashed out of insecurity that after reuniting, he had changed his mind, like maybe I wasn't the partner he remembered. Just to prove this wrong, he proposed to me right then and there. I was so wrapped up in my emotions and relieved that I accepted, and we are happily married 5 years later. However, the thought still lingers that I wish I could have experienced a more romantic, intimate proposal. I don't plan on experiencing an engagement again, of course, so as a bit of a hopeless romantic, I feel like I missed out on a moment I always dreamed of. While my husband's former boss was an asshole for spoiling the surprise, I know it's largely my fault for not trusting the process. I'd love to have a redo, but it feels silly to do so all these years later. What would you guys do? Would you ask your partner for a redo of the experience? Does asking ruin the fun anyway? Or would you just accept that it is what it is and learn how to cope with moving forward? Thanks, gals. Also, Katie, as a day one VPR watcher, they can never make me hate you. Anna from Trashville. Short answer, no. You don't ask or redo the same way.
No.
You regret doing that. Like, yes, it does take the romance out of it. And like, yeah, I hate that. Like with Tom and I, it got down to this whole like ultimatum of things like that. But I mean, when you're with somebody for like 6 years or 5 years, whatever it was, you're kind of like, dude, you need to like prove commitment in a long-term way because you've been fucking up. So it was like, get your shit together or I'm going to peace out. And that was sort of the next step in our relationship, you know? But, and I don't regret it, but it's kind of like, I don't know how things would have gone down differently if I didn't, but it seems like, who knows, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I think you just need to accept that that was the proposal. You're happily married.
You're married for 5 years.
Why look back?
Half a decade. And we're not judging you, but let me just point out.
We're not.
Let me
I
just
promise,
point
but
out
like,
one of the most important cultural moments of our generation, Sex and the City. It's Charlotte's second marriage to Trey. She's losing her fucking mind because the wedding isn't absolutely perfect. She spills wine on her dress and the cup didn't break and whatever. And she's like crying in the bathroom and Carrie's like, girl, you're missing it. Like you had the perfect wedding before. Marriage wasn't so great. Right now, not the perfect wedding, but you have a perfect relationship. So like, yes, you built that up in your head and I am sorry you were disappointed. And I also understand if someone told me your man has a ring and he's going to propose and then it doesn't happen. It's okay. Forgive yourself. Okay. That it happened, but it did happen. So I think now it's just time to move forward. You guys have been married for 5 years. And who cares that it wasn't the exact way that you wanted it to be in your mind? I understand that's disappointing, but not enough that you should ask for a redo. And also that takes the magic out of it anyway. So
yeah, I mean, there's so many proposals that go so haywire. And so that like, I mean, it's just, I don't think that should be the hallmark of like something that you just missed. You had a wedding, you have a wonderful husband, like count your blessings.
All right. Well,
that'll do her.
Hope that helps. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women, like disrespectfully.